Ayo, keep it high, keep it tight. It's Jay Morris, the review guy, back to bring you another video. And in this one, we are going to be continuing the kind of spree of July 13th albums that dropped. First, we covered Chelsea Grin's Eternal Nightmare, and now we are doing the second one that I was super looking forward to. These two videos might even come out on the same day. But we are talking about the second part of this album right here, which would be the Automata duology, and or Automata. No one can really determine how this album's pronounced. Basically, this is a very strange album. Okay, so how do I even approach this? So it's 33 minutes, 2 minutes shorter than Automata Part 1. And whereas Automata Part 1 was 6 tracks, this one is only 4 tracks. And besides Glide, which is the 8th track or 2nd track, it's weird. You kind of have to think of this as one big full album to listen to in its entirety together. So I probably will do that soon and then give my thoughts of both albums as a whole. So Glide, 2 minutes and 13 seconds, so pretty good track. But my main focus is on the other 3 tracks, and specifically the track Voice of Trespass. This is a weird album. This is an experimental album, and I have to say, good job Between the Buried and Me. You landed on my strangest bands I love and listen to, and I think everyone from what I'm seeing in the comment section below is adoring this album. And it's because it's so weird. It's so Between the Buried and Me. And Smearing Records, thank you for publishing this band. I thank you so much. And Voice of Trespass, it's this ragtimey type of track. It's so strange. It's so out there. It's so bizarre. And throughout this whole album, you get Between the Buried and Me's normal mix of technical death metal and progressive metal, and they merge together to form these Opeth-type soaked songs, which are going from these melodic passages with singing, layered vocals, sometimes harmonized vocals going alongside these very raw, very brutal technical death metal vocals that are very kind of unedited, unfiltered, just right there in your face, very bolstering, very just angry sounding, very passionate, and great vocals. A bit shaky, but it makes sense because it's rigid, the type of vocal style that the band's going for. And from start to finish, this album, in my opinion, is better than this one. But here's the thing, you can't think of it like that. You kind of got to think of them together because, yes, these are 2 separate albums, but they go together. That's why it's a part 1 and a part 2. And I want to do a video where I go over both of these albums together, listen to both of them in one fell swoop. I'll probably own this album soon, and listen to both back to back to see and make my critique on just how I like it. And yeah, I mean, it's a great mix of technical death metal, progressive metal. If you're a Between the Buried and Me fan, you're going to love this album. And I know that some people were a bit shaky, a bit off-put by part 1 because, one, they weren't big fans of the fact that they were splitting the album into 2 separate acts, but also the fact that the album was a bit strange. And it's kind of weird to say that because strange is what Between the Buried and Me does best and what they're known for. But this album was strange in terms of people were saying that it was maybe weak, that it was off, that it wasn't as good as some of their previous albums, such as Coma Ecliptic and Colors and some of these other classic Between the Buried and Me albums that had really instilled them as a forerunner of the whole technical death metal, progressive death metal type of hybrid mix that they were one of the best bands of. And if people were worried during part 1, I feel like this should say there is nothing to worry about. You got on on Automata Part 1, you have great tracks like Millions, and you have great tracks like Condemned to the Gallows and House Organ, and you combine that, and then you go straight into this album, and you get the proverbial bellow, I think it's called, and then Glide and Voice of Trespass and The Grid. The Grid is a great mix of technical persuasion with some great melodic passages that carry the track from section to section, with a lot of progression within the structure of the song, and it formulates a lot of atmosphere that goes along with these harsher vocals being kind of in this combative dance with the instrumentals and the rigid vocals, and you have the melodic passages that are going alongside these heavy passages. And between the Buried in Me, they weave these together so seamlessly. It's almost as if it's not difficult for them to do it at all, and it just one right after another it happens, and they are so unique that from album to album you don't know what they're going to do. And Between the Buried in Me hit it out of the park. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. And I don't know if Automata Part 2 would have been similar to Automata Part 1. I still would have given it like an 8 or 9, but it really stepped it up. And, I mean, you got right off the bat a 13-minute track, and this even more instills them that they're the best at what they do. This specific, unique brand of heavy metal and progressive music that they are playing, they are the forefront people of, and they are doing what they're doing great, and I'm excited to hear what this band is going to do in the future. But until then, yeah. So I probably will do the review of both of the albums, all that good stuff. And yeah, so anyways, if you look right here, somewhere on the screen is going to be my previous video. If you want to go watch that, you can. Subscribe, like, comment. It helps me out a lot. Comment and like, and I will shout your channel out, and I'll talk to you guys next time. But until then, my name's Jay Morris, the Review Guy. I'm signing off saying farewell.
Oh no, what's your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke your heart? It's just things aren't the way that they used to be. Oh no.